The draft you are looking at shows my working life over a 20-year period when I left the army at the age of 20 until I stopped drinking at the age of 40. My reason for allowing you to look at this part of my life is in the hope that I may get through to young people just leaving school or university or whatever, that what alcohol can really do to them. I have no feelings about people who can take a drink socially and not have the problems that it gives to an alcoholic. Many people are of the opinion that alcoholics don't work or work very little, but I have found over the years that most alcoholics like myself have always worked because they needed to work to buy alcohol. Many of my elderly friends who have been off drink coming up on 40 years worked throughout their alcoholism and continued to work when they stopped drinking. But I am hoping that perhaps this can get through to young people what alcohol can do. There is a big problem throughout the world with alcohol, but there is no hope of ever being able to ban alcohol. The Americans tried it and it only created worse problems. What I would like to see is young people being able to take a social drink and enjoying it rather than going on and on with it. There is many people who believe that only the poor become alcoholics. I can assure you the knowledge I have attained over the years, I can tell you that the very rich as well. I heard on the David Dimbleby show one man, I believe he was an MP, who said that the rich don't become alcoholics because of the money they have. They can take a drink whenever they please. That's quite true. And many of them do. What alcoholics call that type of person is a topper-upper. He can have a glass whenever he feels it leaving his system, if he's going through any sort of trying to calm himself down. But believe me, the rich can become alcoholics just the same as the poor. I have plenty of experience of that as well. Of course, I would never name or shame anyone who has alcoholic problems. I never even tell a person is an alcoholic. They have to come to accept that themselves. And it is only when they do accept that they are alcoholic that they have a chance to make a choice and stop. But I can assure that gentleman on the David Dimbleby show that I only wish I had been present at that show, that alcohol is no respecter of persons. Just like drugs is similar, only I never took drugs myself, but I'm now involved with people, especially young people, who do and have been taking what they call legal highs. What I call them is legal drugs, simple as that. And to give licenses for these drugs to be sold to our kids, I think is ridiculous and terrible. However, these legal highs are supposed to be stopped this week. I'm hopeful that they will be, but those who have been taking them have got to be very careful on how they withdraw from them. Anyway, as regards alcohol, there is no cure for the alcoholic unless he accepts that he is alcoholic and realizes that only he can help himself. Other psychiatrists, doctors and psychiatrists can advise, and people like myself, that's all we can do, is advise and perhaps support those who are trying. But as regards to stopping, it has to be the person who is suffering from alcoholism to make that decision, as I did 45 years ago. And I've never touched a drink since, and funny enough, I've never craved for one either, and stopped smoking 1 year after I stopped drinking. It seems to be that when you do stop taking an addiction, that you can follow up on that with other addictions, it's like smoking and gambling and things, because I no longer gamble either. And this is my idea of showing this draft, that later in another video I may show the courts, high courts, crown courts, magistrates courts, sheriff courts that I have appeared in to help young problem offenders, not always with alcohol problems. It's always been more or less more elderly people I've helped in the courts with alcohol, and most the younger people with normal problems with getting in trouble with the police, etc. And I have been very successful in convincing judges that they deserved a chance to turn their lives around, and many of them have done so. However, I hope that any young person who listens to my songs and hopefully reads my book will see the dangers of alcohol. Although, as I say, I have no hard feelings about people having a social drink. But you only have to watch the police shows where on television, where they're coming out of the pubs at night time, and the troubles the police have in calming them down, and many being arrested, etc. Alcohol is a mind-altering drug. It changes nice people into nasty people. It creates pacifists into violent people, and many other ways as well. However, I hope that by showing this draft of the jobs I held over a 20-year period will maybe convince some young people to do without alcohol altogether, because it can spell trouble throughout their lives. And I am just hopeful that what I am doing will help some people, as I have helped many in the past. Thank you for listening to an old man, and God bless.